Hello, I'm working in Finland at the moment, and I have with me the score of Sibelius's Fifth Symphony, but the original version of that symphony, which Sibelius wrote in 1915 and indeed performed himself, conducting Helsinki Philharmonic, two performances. After that, Sibelius decided to revise the piece, and the piece we hear now played is that revision, quite different than the original version. I'm really happy that we've been allowed to perform this original version in Queensland, and I'm not sure it's been performed live before anywhere else. There is one recording of it made by the Finnish orchestra, the Lahti Symphony Orchestra, and Osmo Venske, the champion of Sibelius's music. But as far as I know, it hasn't been performed live since the first performances in 1915 with Sibelius conducting. It's really interesting to look at this original version, because we perform the other one so often and it's so well known to orchestras, conductors and perhaps audiences. And going back to Sibelius's original thoughts, it's a very different piece. It's in 4 movements, and actually when he came to revise the piece, he took the first 2 movements of this symphony and stuck them together. So the later version only has, instead of 2 movements, 1 movement as the introductory movement. And it just shows Sibelius's thought processes and how he was trying to make music, make his symphonies more and more organic. So those 2 movements actually belonging together and transforming from one into the other in the revised version, the later version, actually start life as 2 separate entities in the original version. And there are so many differences. It's quite unbelievable how he could revise the piece so much from his original thoughts. And everything, I think, in the original version seems to be much more. I mean, being in Finland, it's interesting. Of course, his music is about the landscape and that feeling of perhaps stark contrast, emptiness in the Finnish landscape. But there's much more open, cold and still atmosphere in the original version. Perhaps he decided that things were too exposed and too long, and that's why he later revised it. But I'm finding it fascinating to be studying this piece, especially being in Finland, of course, and I'm really looking forward to the journey we will take with the Queensland Symphony Orchestra when we perform this original version in June, and I look forward to seeing you there.